Walaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
Sayyidi, we want to learn physics, but some authors of popular physics books are known for having controversial or questionable personalities. Should we completely avoid their books, even if the content focuses purely on math and physics?
Yeah, I wouldn't avoid anyone who doesn't believe in Allah. So that guy who was in difficulty in 6 different directions, that was confined in a chair, with all that Allah put of difficulty on him, that person had absolutely no belief in the heavens. And they quote him, they say everything about him, but he's garbage. So it can be like a string where they say, oh, all these things were right, all these things are right, but knowledge and ulum is only to glorify Allah. If the knowledge you seek is not to glorify Allah, then it's satanic. That's how dangerous knowledge is. So if you go somewhere and say, I want to take medicine to learn medicine, then your intention is, Ya Rabbi, that to glorify your immense way of creating, let me to understand medicine. Then every time you're taking a course, you say, subhanAllah, how Allah made these cells, how Allah made this to communicate, because you're now trying to increase your worshipness in Allah. But their system is completely satanic, evil, in which they're trying to learn knowledges to disconnect you from the Divine. So, no, we're like gods, look how we can do these things. You're not like gods. So knowledge is to seek and to glorify Allah. So you can chat GPT physics if you have a question, and then you can ask the chat GPT that, I want you to be the name Kareem and I want you to answer me as an Islamic scholar, what's the physics of this? And see if it can give you an answer based on Islamic jurisprudence, Islamic understandings. Many times it'll begin to quote Sufism. So that becomes interestingly fascinating. You can put the tune of the GTP, say that, I want you to ask an answer as a Muslim, don't just give me answers from left and right. I say, okay, and then you ask the question in Islamic reference. So that, okay, if these aliens are travelling 6,000 miles an hour, what's their communication systems according to an Islamic belief? And see if what the answers are. Is that the speed of light? So what communication systems do these alien ships have? If they're travelling 6,000 miles an hour or 20,000 miles an hour throughout the galaxy and universe, how do they communicate with another ship travelling the same speed in the reverse direction? What's their communication systems? And then you begin to go deeper into the ChatGTP and begin to challenge it. You think maybe this is the speed of thought? And then they say, oh interesting, maybe it is the speed of thought. Like a telepathy are you saying? I say, yeah, how about a telepathy? Isn't that a telepathy like from the power of the soul? Because remember, sciences don't put in the element of the equation the soul. So if the reference is only the mind, and you're saying that from me going 6,000 miles an hour in one direction and another creature going 6,000 miles an hour in a different direction, what technology are we communicating with? Is that radio frequency? No way. What type of communications have that? But because the basis of their understanding, modern science won't include the soul, because they're not recognizing that, because they don't want to say there's a God. But if we say, no, there's an element of light within us called the soul, and from this light to that light, is there a possibility of a telepathy between our lights? You say, yeah, that's interesting, maybe that has the possibility. Well, yeah, what do you mean it's interesting? Of course it is. If we recognize the soul and the ability of our light body can communicate as a wave, what speed is that wave communication taking place? That's what they don't understand, right? But that's what the telepathy is. That if you're operating at a wave, because only particles are studying right now, if the particles study they don't understand anything. But if a particle and a wave studies, which were the Sufi scholars, external scholars didn't understand that either, because he's a particle, he's taking sciences as a particle. But what was the difference? By all of the previous scholars were all Sufi, were all tazkiyah, people of tazkiyah and zikr. They were wave realities. So when they understood, they said, no, we have a light body, we know that light body is communicating, because they get ilham. Where do they get ilham from? Where do they get knowledges from? How are they communicating with Prophet and how are they communicating with the Uwaisi, with the shaykhs before their time, and there's no relevance between time for them. How do they communicate with their hearts with their shaykhs? That's not even on the realm of speed, it's in the world of barzakh and the world of light. Well, because there's an element of light within us called the soul. What speed is that soul communicating with? Not the speed of light, it's the speed of thought. And that's why the Qur'an gives the reference. In the kingdom of Sayyidina Sulaiman salam, the jinn, the ifrit said, we'll bring the throne, takes a bit. By the time you know, we have to bring it here, replicate it, because they're going to move it through space and time. The one who had the knowledge of the book, which was Torah, not even the knowledge of Qur'an, which is not even comparable in its power. Because the Torah takes the power from the Qur'an, all books take their power from Holy Qur'an, but the source is Holy Qur'an. The one who had knowledge of the book, he brought it. By the time he even thought about it, a replica of the throne was present. So Allah gives us these technologies in Qur'an. So awliya of the past, they would read the verse and understand that Allah is giving a very advanced formula for communications. How are they moving items through space and time? One, you use the jinn where they beam you up like Star Trek, or knowledges of the heavens in which they can bring items, bring themselves, move, communicate through the speed of thought. So then you must be able to train on this earth and communicate with these systems. That's what they don't want. They don't want people whom have the ability to have intuition to sit and communicate and to understand what's happening, and if Allah wants them they can begin to understand what's happening because their souls are very active. So this is the benefit of the world of light. That's why the Dajjals who are coming and these creatures and jinn who are coming, they don't want a bunch of Rijalullah whom their hearts are open and able to sort of move everywhere, they're not restricted by any physicality. They don't want a bunch of people with a wave reality, because nobody can achieve a wave reality without a key from heaven. So the other ones, they go into a room, they get possessed by the jinn and they start to see things. But to actually have your wave reality opened requires a key from heaven that Allah gives a permission. Means you need a sultan, sultanan nasira, means that's the presence of Sayyidina Muhammad. When Surat al-Isra, this holy month of Rajab is Isra wal Miraj, Maqa as-Siddiq, means there's the gate of truth they enter and the gate of truth they exit. They're entering into these realms and portals into the presence of Sultan and Nasira, the authorized Sultan of Allah, which is the presence of Prophet. So Sayyidina Muhammad must sign for that reality. So that's why they teach, you have to love Prophet, you have to do this whole regiment and this curriculum to achieve these realities. And these are the realities that are coming upon this earth. Their jinn nations are coming, their magic show coming. So all of this safety is through the love and ishq of Sayyidina Muhammad.